text I got last week. I think Glover, meaning Cedric Glover,
Right.
might be referring in a Facebook post, blah, 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 to the fact that a group of Republicans outside the aegis and or authority, let's make that clear because you did in the last segment, outside the aegis of the Caddo Parish Republican Party, a group of Republicans who brought Adrian Perkins here to run in the first place, in cooperation with the usual old guard Shreveport Democrat types. If that's true, A, do you think that is true, that there is some sort of politics makes strange bedfellows? Do you think in this case that there is a group of moneyed Republicans, and you know who the moneyed Republicans are, so I think you would know if that were true? Is there some sort of union between moneyed, influential Republicans and old guard Shreveport Democrats to find the perfect candidate, and in this case, Adrian Perkins? In other words, you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
Well, no, I don't think it has anything to do with political party. I think people who do not have the city's best interest in mind could care less about someone's political affiliation. All they really care about is control and power and continuing the status quo. And so to the extent that there are people in this city, in any city, that come together to work together to get a candidate into office that they believe that they will have some influence, should not be a surprise to folks. So yes, I do think that there are folks that are out there, but whether they're registered Republican or Democrat or Libertarian or no party, I don't really think that affects the outcome.
How did these two diverse groups come together of conservatives and old school liberals? And I mean, you would think these would be the last two groups that would ever see eye to eye on anything, much less especially a mayoral candidate.
I think whomever we're talking about.
Well, in the text, we're talking about moneyed Republicans, influential Republicans, and old Shreveport's old line liberal Democrats.
But I think the person who wrote the text is looking at it from the perspective that many Republicans did break to Adrian Perkins. And insofar as they did, I guess there's the implication that it may be some, organization of Republicans that came together to do this. But again, I don't think that this is along partisan lines. This is along power lines.
But if you have people of different political ideologies who see the city going who see that the city should go in different directions, what would bring these two together?
Well, you're assuming that they have the best interest of the city at heart and not their own personal interests.
In other words, are you telling me that their interests are more monetary than ideological and or political?
I think that would be a fair assessment. But again, let's go back to the fact that the whole reason that this question is being raised is because we have been told, and I say we as Shreveporters, at least for the last 10 years, that Shreveport would never elect a Republican mayor, that those days were gone. But yet, the facts as they bear out in this election is that if Republicans had voted for a Republican candidate,
a single Republican candidate,
Jim Taliaferro would have been in the runoff. Whether that was with Adrian Perkins or whether that was with Ollie Tyler, that's another debate altogether.
Yeah, and if my uncle had, well, no, it was my aunt, but never mind. So as you look at the race wrapping up, I would think if you believe, well, I don't know.
It's very confusing for a lot of voters because you are looking at two candidates and you're trying to evaluate, is Adrian Perkins truly the fresh face on City Hall, or is he merely a mask of some very old ones? And so for a lot of folks, that's the decision that they're making. The whole reason that text came in, the whole reason that there are so many people that are asking questions about this race today is because there are more unanswered questions than there are answers about Adrian Perkins. Why is it that someone who always planned to come back to Shreveport bought a house in Georgia? Why does he not have a job? Why has he never voted? Why is it on his resume that he worked for the city of Shreveport and yet he never did?
We could have played, in fact, we talked about it of playing a little who's the candidate game and listing their residences outside of Shreveport. I mean, it's Adrian's not the only one who has residency questions.
But there certainly are more unanswered questions. That's the reason that this question that you're asking resonates with so many people.
So you're endorsing Tyler?
No, absolutely not.
I just threw that out there to see what
that's a difficult question to
yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Because what you really need to do as a voter is to get informed. You know, Mayor Tyler certainly has her challenges, no doubt. The question is, do you go with someone that you know or you feel is at least honest with you, whom you feel you may know who she is, or do you go with someone, as your question poses, that perhaps maybe the fix is in? And
I didn't say the fix is in.
Well,
you said the fix is in.
Well, with respect to, you're asking, did the Republican Party or did these folks recruit Adrian Perkins to Shreveport? So I think those are the questions for the voters right now. And again, there's more unanswered questions than there are answers.